guys. I was just on here a few minutes ago promoting my the real sexual 1-2-3s, and I got way too cozy on my bed. I had like that, I'm having that like 4 o'clock like kind of like hump, because we had horrible weather last night where, well, it wasn't horrible, but the thunder and the lightning, just, I did not sleep like amazing. But anyway, so I sat down on my bed to do that live, and I was like, this is super cozy. And then I was like, well, I'm just going to stay right here on my bed, and I'm going to get even cozier and do my other live. And my cat's going to knock everything over. Sorry. If a cat just attacks me, don't be shocked. But anyway, so I was sitting here, and the title, Staying Centered in Your Truth, kind of came in, and I was kind of thinking through some things that had happened over the last week. So Christmas Eve, I got into a disagreement with somebody in my life. Gotta love holidays and families and all that. And this person was really set on misunderstanding, or not even actually wanting to know the other side, or kind of any rationale, actually wanted no feedback at all, like had kind of decided what they thought was the truth, what they thought was kind of reality, and wasn't really wanting any feedback or kind of discussion of kind of what they were inquiring, or inquire is a strong word, about. And so I've been kind of processing this for the last few days. And then I had some new consults yesterday that I worked with, and some clients I worked with. And I kept coming back to this idea of staying really centered in your truth, what you know to be true for your life. Because really, you have your truth. Every single person watching this video is going to have their truth. That is their reality. Your reality is not my reality, and my reality will never be your reality. Now, we can have some things where we might have similar realities, but we're all different people seeing the world through different eyes, different experiences. We aren't copies, and we all know that, and we give lip service to that, but I don't think a lot of us truly take that to heart, the fact that you are never going to see something the exact same way somebody else truly sees it. And it is amazing, and when somebody sees something, their reality is so completely different than yours, then it doesn't sometimes feel so amazing. But it is truly beautiful. But I think that there are times when we can get thrown off of our centeredness by others. Because hold on, I have some questions coming in. Are you single? If you are, how do you deal with sexuality? I'm going to finish what I'm saying, and then I will get to your comments. So if we don't stay centered within self, then we really can get knocked off of our truth, our reality. Then we're no longer on our path. We're no longer connected to our spirits. We are kind of being thrown here or there by everyone else's belief systems, everyone else's desires for us. And I can tell you, as somebody who was a perfectionist, who lived a large part of her life being, hold on, I need to get even comfier on my bed. A large part of my life trying to people please, and realizing that what pleased one person is not going to please somebody else. And at the end of the day, I wasn't pleasing myself, and that was the most important. And I spent my whole teenage years like that. And when we become centered within self, we aren't going to be thrown to the left or the right as more. But more than even that, it is being centered in your truth within yourself, even because your ego also will like to chime in and throw us off our center, throw us off our truth. So for example, I stated that I had a disagreement with someone on Christmas Eve, and this Christmas Eve, or this disagreement on the way home, as I was driving, my ego like jumped in, and the disagreement was actually about some of my practices as a practitioner, which are all on my webpage if you guys want to read those, www.addisonbill.net. But on the drive home, my ego started to jump in there and started to be like, oh, well, maybe they're right, or maybe they're right, and I had to be like, whoa. No, I know my truth. I know my core. I know what I believe to be, what my center says to be my spirit. If you want to take it even to a more truthful level, my spirit says is right and is wrong, and is true of what I choose to do in my life and not true, and intentions versus, and nobody else is going to ever be in our brains, and no one is ever going to be able to step into that reality of us. And so on that level, when it comes to relationships, it is about staying centered, and that is done through meditation, through journaling, through just connecting throughout the day with self. But the same is true of our egos, to really stay connected to our spirits and our bodies, and not let our egos drive us one way or the other, because they can be just as damaging, actually way more damaging than the people in our lives. Because in order for the people in our lives to disrupt our center, our egos have to get involved and allow that. They have to allow that disruption of centeredness. And more than even that, it is about kind of being proud. Well, not more than that, but it is about being proud and centered within how you're living your life. And if you can't touch in with yourself and go, no, I am proud of what I choose to do each day, how I show up in the world, how I connect with people, then that is a humongous signal, especially this time of year, that you need to make some changes. What can you implement? How can you make changes? And we all have those elements where you go, okay, well, I'm not thrilled about how I show up in this way or in this scenario or that scenario, but it is about an overall sense of well-being of, I am on my path, I am doing what turns me on, I am living from a place of love, or whatever your values are. So my suggestion because we are headed to the new year, is to really take a moment and think about, what are your values? What is your core? What are those elements that you find are your core? Are you truly living the life you desire and that you want to be living? And if not, what are those steps that you can take to transition that a little bit? Because we are always going to be able to look at self and go, okay, well, there's this I need to change in that, I need to change in that. But when you really look at your life, are you happy? Are you fulfilled? And are you living in what you believe to be true and right, and your purpose in your life? So that is my suggestions that you all go kind of tap into. I know I'm doing this type of work as well this time of year, especially Not that I'm not always doing my work. I don't believe you should trust a coach that isn't doing their own personal growth work. So I do want to get to the question that was, hold on, I'm going to scroll for a second. So I'm going to, give me a second. I do want to get into, there was that question at the very beginning about if I'm single, and I want to touch on it, not because it has anything to do with this video, but really because I get the question all the time. And first of all, I hate the word single. I hate the word single, because what does that even mean? I mean, if I was dating 10 men, but I wasn't married, you might consider me single. If I had nobody in my life, you would consider me single. If I had a committed partner, but potentially we hadn't labeled the relationship, that would be considered single. I do consider myself single, but that doesn't mean I don't have anybody in my life. And you can not be married or not be in a committed relationship and be having amazing sex. So that really actually, the two actually don't go together. So yeah, just touching in on that question. And I can't really see everybody's question, so if there's any other questions or comments, I will go in and I will make sure to message you guys. I very much appreciate you guys all watching and commenting and interacting. I love it. So Facebook does not love me, though, because of what I talk about. So I would very much appreciate it if you would help share my content. If it resonated with you, please just hit the little share button. It does a world of good for me and helps me get my message out there. Again, thank you for watching. I have some really cool programs coming out the next few days. I have a subscription program coming out tomorrow, and then I just released my the Real Sexual 123s, so you can go back and watch that video or get that link. Other than that, I'm wishing you guys all light, love, and blessings, and I'll see you tomorrow for another Addison Unleashed. Bye, everybody.